We're back with Alden Chodash of AldenBoxing.com. It took just 61 seconds for Kendall Holt to beat Ricardo Torres last Saturday in Las Vegas, Alden, although he did it the hard way. What's your impression of Holt Torres II?
Well, it's really hard to prove anything in 61 seconds in terms of Kendall Holt, besides the fact that he scored an impressive knockout of a guy that's given fighters a lot of trouble, including Kendall Holt, for at least the 60 seconds that preceded that a controversial knockout in my mind. I think he was hurt by a headbutt that not many journalists nor broadcasters really noticed.
And especially Jay Nady.
Yeah, Jay Nady didn't notice. Well, I mean, you can't really blame them. It happened so quickly that if one twitch of an eye could really make a difference in seeing that accidental foul. It was not intentional. Torres walked into a hurt Holt, who was bobbing and weaving, trying to get away from Torres' onslaught. It would probably have ended within about 15 seconds of the fight, within 15 seconds of that instance, but Holt sure did get lucky, and he followed up with a right hand, put him out of there.
So you say no doubt Torres would have stopped him in the first round?
I don't think so. I think it's very unlikely that Holt would get out of the first round, let alone win.
No, that's what I say. Torres would have stopped him in the first.
Yes.
Without the headbutt.
I really think so. Holt was in a really bad way from punches, and Torres really shocked me. He came out with a right hand, and he got Holt in trouble quicker than I expected him to. I thought Holt was going to keep a distance, but he just walked into a shot. And the suspect chin of Kendall Holt was on display for us, but it was such a spectacular and tumultuous fight. Within the 61 seconds, it's really hard to criticize Kendall Holt because of how exciting and how spectacular the fight ended.
Okay. Got to be a rematch, no?
Yeah, there really has to. It's a lot to do, in my mind. Why I'd like to see it is because of the controversy that stirred because of the headbutt that led into that right hand that ended it. So, in all likelihood, Torres should probably win, but Holt in the first fight proved that he's capable of outboxing Ricardo Torres. He can pull it off, but I wouldn't really like to think of that fight right now. It wasn't really a pretty fight in my mind,
right,
although it was spectacular in a lot of others.
But you do want to see it down the road?
Yeah, well, it has to happen.
Okay. This Saturday, it's Vladimir Klitschko, Tony Thompson. You've been telling me that you think an upset is definitely a possibility. Why?
Tony Thompson is almost as big as Klitschko. He may not be as tall as Klitschko, but the way Klitschko fights, he'll appear the same height. He's a southpaw. He knows how to fight. He's beaten top heavyweight contenders before.
But he's 36 years old.
All around, that's a potential combination for disaster for a fighter who has not looked very impressive recently. Talking about Vladimir Klitschko.
Okay, but like I said, he's 36 years old and he doesn't have a big punch. How is he going to beat Klitschko?
Klitschko's not too young either. I think he can become one of the first fighters to be able to beat Klitschko without a big punch. With the exception of Ross Purity, who just did it because Klitschko is totally exhausted. Not saying that's not a possibility also. I think Tony Thompson has a tight defense. He can get in close. He likes to throw punches. Klitschko likes to pace himself. If he can walk through punches, take punches, or even avoid punches, which would probably be in his best judgment, he can test Klitschko and take him into deep waters. And the last time I can recall Klitschko in deep waters was really Samuel Peter, who wasn't the all-around package to take advantage, and Lamont Brewster, who was quick enough to put him out of there. Obviously, Tony Thompson is not the puncher of Peter or Brewster, but he can throw enough punches to get Klitschko in a lot of distress. Okay. And maybe even put him away like Ross Purity did because of exhaustion. But that's, in a way, that's unlikely because Tony Thompson's never faced a puncher like Klitschko before, a guy that could put him out of there. It'll be interesting how Klitschko reacts. Those are just possibilities I stated, but the punches of Klitschko could change everything.
And what does Klitschko have to do to make this a relatively easy fight?
He's got to use his jab consistently. He can't slap it. He can't paw with it at all. He's got to be more active. He better be in good shape also. And he should keep the fight on long range, definitely.
Okay. So you definitely an interesting scenario on Saturday.
Yeah, it's an interesting fight depending on what Thompson can do.
Okay. Just announced for late October in Quebec, Lucien Butte is facing rugged Libretto Andrade. You like that fight?
Yeah, it's a good matchup, boxer versus puncher, but Butte's not the classic boxer. He can punch. He's won the title on a knockout. He's scored knockouts in title defenses, most notably William Choppy got him out of there. But the question is whether he can withstand Libretto Andrade's aggressiveness as Miguel Kessler was able to do. It'll be a test as in any of the fights, talking about opponents of Libretto Andrade, if they're good enough, solid enough, well-conditioned enough to withstand the kind of pressure and win rounds for the full distance against a guy like Andrade. He will not let you rest.
Okay. Finally, as we wrap things up, I know you were watching some Naseem Hamed footage. What's your opinion of Hamed, his ability, his ring savviness, if he had any, and if he had his head on straight, how great could he have been?
I think he was so great because he didn't have his head on straight, really. His awkwardness, his raw power, raw skill, that's what made him such, maybe not great, but such a feared figure in the featherweight division, such a dominant champion. He beat everybody, really. He unified the title. He beat top fighters such as Kevin Kelly. And it's really a tribute to Marco Antonio Barrera, who finally, out of all the great champions that Hamed fought, finally beat him, was able to maintain his posture for the full 12-round distance against a guy as awkward as Hamed, and not have all his boxing skills go down the chute, as was the case with Kevin Kelly, who was a skilled boxer who got tempted into Hamed's fight. That's what Hamed does. He's so awkward. He tempts good boxers or decent boxers into fighting his fight, and he's got the power to put you out in any angle.
Do you think of the three Mexican warriors, Juan Manuel Marquez, Barrera, and Morales, do you think all three would have beaten Hamed, considering both being, let's say, all fighters being in their prime, or you think just Barrera had the wherewithal and the discipline?
Well, the way I see it, what Barrera could do, Marquez can do also. Morales would be interesting. It would be definitely a tougher fight. Morales gets reckless when he gets hit, and obviously he's going to get hit, as it was the case with Barrera. He got hit, but he remained his composure, and Marquez would do the same. Morales could get reckless and walk into some punches. That just remains to be seen, or would have remained to be seen, whether they would have fought. It was definitely an option. At the time that Barrera fought Hamed, it was probably being considered if Hamed would have beaten Barrera as it was expected of him, but that fight never came off. It would be the most entertaining of the three, and it would be the closest and more back and forth action than Marquez and the Barrera fight produced.
Right. Thanks, Alden, for talking to us. Remember to check out aldenboxing.com for more information. Bye-bye.